Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Help Nobody Told Me. My name is Jasmine Shapiro. I'm a realtor in the North Shore of Chicago with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Here with my co-host, Mindy Leonard with SOS, Super Organized Spaces. And Mindy is a home organizer. She's fabulous, and we love working with her.
Love working with you too, and happy to be hosting with you today. We have a guest, Jennifer Bott, who is with us. And I think that Jennifer's story is going to resonate with so many of you out there, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on. So Jennifer is a mom of 3 adults. Her 81-year-old mother has recently moved in and is living with them. Actually lived with you for a while, moved out, and is now back.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then just in the last couple of years, she went back to school and decided to become a licensed therapist, which she is. And so, I mean, I think you are the definition of the sandwich generation.
I would agree. I feel that way, but yes.
Yeah. So can you just to begin, just start a little bit explaining about the family dynamic and your mom moving in and out and back and your kids, and just kind of set the ground frame.
Made you decide to have her move in?
Sure, definitely. So, gosh, it's now probably like 16 years ago was the first time she moved in because she was out for. So she came in because she was having some medical issues. She has Crohn's disease and some other issues, and she was working at the time, but her health was declining, and it was getting really difficult for us to be going back and forth because she was in the city, and I was in Lincolnshire, and my sister was in the city. So for a while, they lived like in the same building, and so she was a big help. But then she got married and moved to the suburbs, and so then no one was there, and she would need help, and so we'd be running back and forth, and it was just too hard. So we're like, we need to move you closer. We need to move you into the suburbs. And so we were going to have her live on her own, and then just, it wasn't working out where we could find a place that was going to work. And so I said, well, move in, because I have small kids at the time, and that might just be easier than everything else we were doing. And so that's how she moved in the first time.
So what did that look like when you actually had to have her move in? You said your kids were young.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're dealing with the craziness
Chaos.
of a family.
Yeah.
They're going to school, homework, after-school activities, trying to feed everybody, laundry, and now we're bringing your mother, who's older, who's not well, into the mix. How did you navigate all that?
It was chaos, I'm not going to lie. And there was a part of me, though, that was like, my sister got my mom all these years downtown, and I didn't. And so now if she's here, maybe she could be another body in the house, too, because I think my youngest at the time was, like, going on 3. And so I'm like, well, she's another body when I'm running in and out. My husband traveled a lot, so I'm like, she's a body in the house to watch her. And she doesn't have to do a lot. And at the time, she was sick, but she could still do stuff. She could drive. She could still do everything. And she was still trying to work part-time. So she was, at that point, she was like immobile or anything.
So she was a bit helpful to you with a young family.
At the beginning, she was a bit helpful. And more work. But it worked. It worked for 8 years until it didn't work. Until she, she just started becoming where she was depending on me for way too much. And she didn't need me for it, but she got dependent on me. And especially as like one kid went to college, she wanted more of me. And I'm like, you don't need me. Like you're turning into like to make yourself unable when you can still be an able person. And so it was a really difficult decision. But I decided that the best thing for her and I in our relationship is that she's independent.
So how did that conversation go? I can't imagine having that conversation with a parent who wants more of you.
Yeah.
And now you're saying, I don't think so.
It was really difficult. I talked to my therapist for a long time over it. It was not a quick decision. Talked to my sister. Unfortunately, to be truthful, the way my mom found out was not the right way. She found out through someone else and not me. Because I had shared it with somebody who then shared it with someone else and then told my mom. And so it was bad.
So to our listeners who might be experiencing this, would you say, don't do that? Like,
no.
Have the conversation, rip the Band-Aid off, As
Yes.
hard as it is,
Yes,
but
as I was processing it and like sharing it with some people, I didn't know it would get disclosed. So yes, I would say, you know, you have to share. I mean, I told my mom it was wrong. That was not the way, because she didn't get it. Like, she knew things were difficult, like with us, that we were fighting a lot, but she wasn't prepared. It was terrible. Like, it was bad. But we got through it. You know, she understood. And then she ended up loving where she moved to. And
so she didn't go kicking and screaming like a
She
lot of
did.
parents who live with their children. If
Yeah.
you tell them, okay,
Yes.
you might need more help than I can provide, like medically, or I can't lift you, or
Yeah.
you know, I can't be around all the time. You need constant care. And a lot of times the parent is comfortable and they don't want to move.
Yeah.
So, but she was willing to go, is what you're saying?
In time, she did first
Okay.
went kicking and screaming. She
Okay.
was mad. She was hurt though, and I have to
Yes.
give her that. Like, she was really hurt, and she had every right to be. Once we found this place, and she loved it, and there were other people, and it was a like 55 and up living community, and she ended up like playing games, and like she had people who could like be there for her, and so she loved it for 8 years. For 8 years, she loved it. It was we loved it. We could easily get to her. It was convenient.
So it was close, like
Yes.
it wasn't down in the city again.
No,
it was close
no,
by.
no. She was
So-
closer, so it was great. And then she's got sick again, and we sort of talked like, okay, things are getting a lot harder. I'm going back and forth all the time. I have to get her at 6 a.m. to take her to a doctor's appointment. It was just getting too hard. And I sort of said, well, when you think you need to move back in, the door is open. And she said,
that's nice.
the next day, I'm ready. I didn't literally the next day. Like, it was a phone
Wow.
conversation, and the next day she goes, okay, I'm
So
ready.
this was not when you had the conversation she had to move out. This was after she was moved out and
Yeah, she
happy
was out
and
for 8
started
years.
getting sick.
Yeah.
That's when you said to her,
Yeah.
when you need it, the door is open.
Yeah, when you
Okay.
need it, because she's like, what am I going to do? Like, you know, and I said, Mom, obviously, I'm here for you. Like, when you need to come back and move in with us, you will. And then the next day she did. I mean, not the next day, but the next day she said, okay, I'm ready.
So what did that look like? I can't imagine after having like some friction and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, did you set up some ground rules?
Yeah.
Or like, I just
Yeah.
can't imagine like she
Yeah.
lived with you, now she's not,
Right,
now
like
she's
was
back.
8 with you, 8 out,
Yeah.
Right.
and now she's back in for a
Yeah.
couple of
Right.
years.
Yeah, no, we definitely talked about things, because now I was working, and I was already working. I've always worked with my husband part-time, and I still do that. But now I always be a therapist, and you can't interrupt a therapist when they're, if I'm working at home in session or obviously at the office. So we had to create some ground rules and boundaries, which I'm not good at, but I'm learning and I'm getting better. I can
You can tell
tell my
other
clients.
people. Right.
but it's hard to do. And my mom is one that she doesn't have a very long wick. So like when something's bothering her, she needs help that instant, and there is no time. Like, she needs it. So
That's a good expression. She doesn't have a good long wick. Like
Yeah.
you can just see the flame, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like
and she's nervous, and especially as she's getting older. She's really nervous about herself and things, and if things go wrong, how's she going to fix it, and she needs it fixed right away. And so that's what I work on with her. Like, Mom, like, give me 5 minutes, like, or give me an hour. Like, I can't help you now. Nothing's going to change between now and an hour from now. And so it's difficult, but we work on that.
so
a
is
lot.
is emotionally round 2 of her living with you? I mean, your family's at such a different age. You're at a different stage. I mean, but emotionally, how is it different now having her back versus then?
Now with Mom, she's emotionally, for me, I know she's older and she's not as with it, and she needs the help. And I also know my time is limited with her. And so I think knowing that and reminding myself of that helps a lot. And you can say, well, how do you think of that? I think about that because of friends who've lost parents,
Right.
and would I rather have my mom here even under the stress at times? Yes. And especially after losing my dad, and so
Sure.
I'd rather and I get special time with her. Like, it's yes, it's a headache. It's difficult.
But either way it is. Like, even if they're
Yes.
living in a senior community, there's headaches with them too.
Right.
And then you have to drive there, drive back, and like
Yes.
figure all that in. So
Yes.
it's a different kind of headache,
Yes.
but there's always,
Right.
Yeah.
you know,
And
issues.
really
she's
nice
safe.
benefits too. I mean, the relationship that she has with your children,
I wanted to
she
ask
would
about
not
that.
have
Yeah.
if she didn't live with them. And yeah, talk
Yeah.
about
Oh,
that.
So
They were little when she first
yes.
moved
So my youngest daughter was going on 3, 2.5, going on 3, and then my son Steve was I don't know 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know what I mean, 8, and then like 10 or something.
Right.
So they were young, and they did not want her to move out. I got flack.
Did
Like,
one of them have to give up their room, their
no.
bedroom?
So what we did was we took the basement and made it into like
An apartment.
for
Yeah.
her. So she got the basement. So,
So
that
she
was
had
difficult.
independence.
She had independence. She had a bathroom. She had a little kitchenette there. Her, the whole thing is hers. So I mean, we had to give that up. My kids didn't have a basement.
Yeah.
Which they survived. I survived because they played right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Friends came and they were in the family.
Right.
It was just a difference, but it was fine. We made it work. But no, they were very upset with me when she was moving out.
And how did you explain it to them?
I just said, Ma, I can't take it. Like, we're fighting. I'm fighting my mom all the time. And I said, this isn't how I want it to be. Like this, and she can do these things on her own. And that was the fight where like,
Yeah.
and she could. Like when she
Right.
wasn't with me, she could do all these things. She was so she was still
was
able.
able.
Once she felt
Yeah.
better, she was able to do these things. And so they agreed and saw it, but they felt that it was easy for them. She was always there.
And what's the relationship now that she's back in?
They love
and
it.
they are probably out of the house.
Yes, but
'Cause they're older.
Yes, so she's probably. They love it. My young one comes home from. My young one was the one who was with her the most because, she used to like. My little one would sleep with her, like I'm driving the others to and fro, and she'd be sleeping in her bed with her and doing all this stuff. And she's close with all, but that one felt it the most.
Yeah.
And so she loves it. Like when she's home, they spend so much time together. They go to lunch, they go shopping. Now though, like in the past, 6 months, my mom is sort of declining with her mobility and stuff. And so like she was on my daughter like the entire break. Mm-hmm. And she handled it very well. But I'm like, I am so sorry. But yeah, she's fine. It's fine. Nana just needs help, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Like they can laugh about it.
Oh, good.
And they adore her. They think she's fun. My mom is funny, so that helps.
What about your husband?
Right.
Bringing her back and that whole dynamic.
Yeah. So he, thank God, is a very calm, easygoing guy, and logical in that he saw that this is the best situation, and he's very good at his he's better at his boundaries than mine. So like when he wants done, he's done for the night. He's gonna chill out. Mom, and he calls her Mom, leave me alone. Like Mom, we'll look at it tomorrow. Like he can just say it, and it's in. And so they work very well, and they've known each other since I dated. He's my high school sweetheart, so they've known each other a really long time. So that helps that they
Right.
They've
There's an
always
understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with my mom being divorced and stuff, she was more apart because we're very part of his family's life too, but needed more
Yeah.
from us.
Right.
Yeah. So thank God. I'm very.
So it's just you and your sister, right?
So yeah. Yes.
So
Mhm.
so what was your sister's take on all of this when you moved her in, obviously, and then moved her out? Does she live nearby too, or was
Yeah.
it okay? So it wasn't like it was closer to you, and now she had to do all the work of traveling, or it was kind of like it worked for both of you.
Yeah. For my sister, it was a little harder based on her circumstances to be as involved. She is involved, but she can't just do her own sometimes physical stuff and medical stuff, and her daughter. It wasn't quite as easy. She couldn't live with her. Let me put it that way. And my mom couldn't live with her either.
Okay.
So, and they have an understanding. So that's not, when she hears this, they're not going to be like, oh my God. Like they, you know what I mean? They are very, in many ways, they're very similar. And so there's certain things that they just both need their time. They just couldn't live together. So it works, but she will stay there for a few days and she'll go do there. So we have an agreement, like, if I'm out of town or something and there's stuff and mom can't be by herself, which it's getting a lot harder now, then my sister either come to me or go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you needed yet to get any outside caregivers, or are you still able to manage that?
Yeah, we have not yet. Mom is just deciding that she's deciding that she might not drive anymore. So,
That's nice that you don't have to take the keys
Yes.
away. That it's her decision.
yes. So we're now, I mean, she hurt her shoulder and her, like all these things. So if the shoulder does not come back, she can't, like she just can't do it. And she can't look behind her. So, like I got her an Uber. And so like now she's learning how to Uber. And so I am a little, like I'm a little concerned, I don't think we're there yet. I've been able to do everything, but now like she needs help like doing her hair and wants me down there when she's showering. And so
Yeah.
I would say in the last 2 months it's increased. And I changed my work schedule due to it. Like I now am only remote because it was just, I need to be home more often.
Yeah.
You need that flexibility.
I need the flexibility.
And luckily you're in a position where you can have that flexibility.
Totally. Great employer and great opportunity.
Right,
So
right,
very lucky.
right.
Very lucky.
Have you had any friends say, how did you do it?
It's so many.
Or like, what advice do you have for people? Like,
Yeah.
I just think it's a very unusual situation.
Humor. Look, it's hard. Just in any caretaking, it's hard. But I have this time brought humor into the house with her. So one of our like favorite things we do that calms me down, especially like when I'm cooking or trying to do stuff and then she needs me, is we talk in the Southern accent to each other. And I don't know how. I think I did it like, come on, Mom, you're bugging me or something. And it just, now it's become a thing. And that, for both of us, it's a calmer. So
That's
and we laugh
fantastic.
about it because it's just something that
Yeah.
we like to do, and it's such a help. Like
Yeah.
so humor I think is a lot. Walking out of the room sometimes when I need to, and being okay that like I'm mad today or I'm resentful, because there are days I'm resentful
Right.
that I have to do this,
Right.
and being okay, like, okay, give yourself 5 minutes to be resentful now, pick it up.
Well, and you're a therapist, so you have a lot of tools to work
Yes.
with, right? But
And that
many of our
helps.
listeners are probably
Yes.
like, I'm about to pull my hair out. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot deal with this. I don't have the time. My
Yes.
mom is insistent. My dad's
Yes.
insistent. Yeah.
So saying no, like I think one thing that I'm not good at, and I've gotten so much better at, and probably from becoming a therapist, is though, like sometimes we can't do things, and sometimes saying no to someone else is yes to ourselves. So if we need that, like we can say no, and
there's nothing wrong with saying yes to yourself.
right.
Right? I mean, I think as women and as mothers, when we put ourselves first, we kind of, it's ingrained in us that we're supposed to feel guilty and we're supposed to put ourselves on the back burner. But then you think of the whole airplane thing, right? Like put the oxygen mask on
Sure.
you before you put it on others, and that carries into other parts of your life. So you have to. I think the fact that you guys set some boundaries round 2 when she moved back in
Yeah.
is a really good thing, and I think anybody who is contemplating having a parent move back in with them should set boundaries. Sometimes it's hard to know what boundaries to set because you've not yet experienced it,
Right.
so they can't all be up front, but that's okay. You can still do it as it goes on. And I love the Southern accent thing, and
I know.
I heard another thing that could be helpful in this situation is they decided it was a couple, and it was just the two of them. They were living together. I don't remember if they were married or not, but they had a pretend third roommate. And when anything went wrong, can you believe that Jeremy left those on the floor again?
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of thing. And I could see something like that being incorporated with you and your mom, because, or any situation.
Well, actually, we do it more like we just blame my mom. Even like sometimes if something happens, my husband will be like, "My mom must have done it." Even if one of us did it, like we can blame her, and we're not going to get as upset.
Oh, that's funny.
81 years old.
Right.
But yeah, definitely.
The other thing I was thinking of is you have given your children such an example of how
Yes.
to have, empathy for somebody who's either sick or aging. And that's a gift.
Yeah.
And so many, either if you are growing up and you don't have grandparents, you don't understand that. I know when my kids were growing up, my father-in-law and father had a stroke, and they came home, but my kids knew, like, you can't just kick your shoes off and leave them everywhere,
Right.
like certain things that most people would never know that because you don't have to deal with it. So I think, your kids have gotten a gift by that too without even realizing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think
What
so.
an example.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
What an example.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree completely.
So, I think they've appreciated it.
Yeah. And the relationship
Yeah.
is clearly special, right? So we've talked a lot about like the stressors, but are there some highlights? I mean, besides like the relationship with the kids or funny moments or something like that maybe you would want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think the highlights are I get to see another side of my mom, at times that, like, you don't always see, because when you're with someone all the time, like,
Right.
you get to see things, and I get to hear stories that maybe I wouldn't have heard, and we get to play games, like she's just taught me how to play mahjong, and so these are moments that we laugh, and we get these times together where she's in a calm state, I'm in a calm state, and I'm embracing those, because you don't always get that.
Right.
And I know that, and I'm so like, and I purposely try to be aware of that. Like, and I purposely say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop my day. She hasn't gotten out of bed today or something, or let's go play a game. Because then I feel good that she's doing something,
Right.
using her brain, and we're together. And so I do enjoy those. I enjoy that I can just take her to lunch or do something, quick, or we can order her favorite whatever and just have a 2-second dinner together, and then she goes to her room and watches her movie or whatever she wants, and we just
Right.
get that time.
That's awesome.
And I know I'm lucky to have that. Like, so I do remind myself that, because I am,
Right.
But
But you're also smart that you allow yourself grace when you need it, right? Because it's not all sunshine and roses. And
No.
so, right? So when you
No.
need that grace, like, and if you're feeling aggravated or you need that break,
call
like
a friend.
like you're realistic, So
And I
think
told her, that's another thing I think is sometimes just stating to her mom, like, I can't help you right now. Like, I have my own thing going on right now. Or, Mom, you're frustrating me. Like, I can't do all this. Do you see, and just stating it. Because sometimes it's in here, and then and then I'm like,
Right.
wait, no, tell her.
Right.
And essentially, okay, so,
All right, so we have a lightning round. Some of this we may have already covered, but
Okay.
I don't want you even to think, like, just whatever comes to mind. This is just fun, okay? So, one small moment with your mom that means more than you had expected.
I don't have one. Our accent and the laughter.
I was
going to say when we talk and we laugh. That to me is, I love it.
Okay, I think you need to answer the next question in the accent.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it. I might eat her. Okay, let me try.
Okay. A boundary that you learned the hard way.
Mama Bear, you can't be coming in my office when I'm on the phone. Mama Bear, no. Now I gotta lock that door because you're in my you're entering where you're not supposed to. So that's how, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, something caregivers need to hear more often.
Thank you.
I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. One practice that helps you reset emotionally.
For me, sometimes it's taking a quick walk, getting out of the room.
You've said that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music. I listen to music a lot. So that is something that if I feel myself getting upset, I will put music on to just calm myself.
Okay.
And one word that describes this season of your life.
I don't want this to come out in a bad way, but I would just say uncertain.
Okay. That's
You know.
fair.
Oh, I think so.
I think
Like-
that's real and fair.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that, it's just, that's
No.
how I feel.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about music, I've seen a lot of videos online where people, your moods are contagious. And so it'll be like the kids sitting around the table, even a baby in a high chair, and the mom just starts dancing random dances,
Yeah.
and the kids just start,
Right.
you know,
or cracking up at mom.
right,
Don't
but even like a baby who doesn't really, but then gets in the mood. And so I think there is something to be said about the music and the movement and this, you know, the stepping out of the room and all of that. And
One more.
yeah.
I'm a hugger, and my mom is not.
Oh.
So sometimes when I'm upset, I'll put my arms out to hug her, and she gets hot real easily. And so I'm like, come on, Mama Bear, I love you. And I'll hug her, and I won't let go. And she'll be like, okay. Okay. And I just keep holding on. That's something else I do too. Because she laughs. Okay, Jennifer, stop. You know, but we laugh.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So finding those, I think, is important.
yeah.
Well,
That's
this
fabulous.
has been wonderful, and I hope it's going to help some of our listeners that are struggling, because I think this is very common that most people don't talk about, and therefore they don't have help, and nobody
Right.
told them. Right?
And nobody told them. I mean, there's so much as we were talking today. The name of the podcast, Help Nobody Told Me, just came up and up and up.
Yeah.
And you know, you are living it.
I
Help
hope-
Nobody Told Me.
Well, I
So,
hope it helps somebody.
thank you for being so honest and open and sharing such personal details about your experience. And it was great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And we'll see you next time on another episode of Help, Nobody Told Me.